Hello everyone, welcome to All Things CS. Today we are going to go through setting up GitLab Package Registry and then using React, putting React into that and creating React components that we can push to our package registry and use on different projects. And then after that we are going to show how to use those components and install those components basically. Okay, so first things first, you may want to know some React, you may want to know version control. If not, you can sure follow along, but you may not understand. So let's get started. I created a project here. You can go up here and just create a new project and go through the steps for that. My project is right here. I'm going to go to this and I have my code is already here. And so we are going to do yarn init. Okay, so we want to initialize yarn first. You can either use npm or you can use yarn. And I created a video on this before, so I won't go too much into depth on that. I'll link that video down below. We are not going to use index.js because we're not going to be doing this. We are going to be creating a React. Okay, so first things first, let's do that yarn init. Yarn init, go through the steps, boom, okay. We're going to our file here, okay. If you can use whatever editor you like, just doesn't really matter to me. And let's go to our package.json. First thing we want to do so we don't forget, we want to set the scope in here. Mine is all things CS, and then you put a slash, okay? Yours will be something different, and you'll know that by hovering over here, wrong one, hovering over here, once again, and you can see at all things CS. Now if you have your own instance of GitLab, you may have different groups, so it will depend on what your group is, but like here, you might have different things there, but basically it'll be this one or up here. In the GitLab's documentation, it can kind of be confusing about what that scope is. So just so you know, if you're ever confused, look up there. All right, next thing we're going to need is we're going to need a publish config, okay? This publish config is important. And so let's just grab this guy here. And we're going to put this inside our package.json. If you have autocomplete, that's always a plus. And so, yes. You'll see here it says foo. We want to change this to all things CS. And we are working off of just normal old GitHub. If you have your instance, that would be where you put your instance name. Project ID. We want to have our project ID here. So we will go to the project and copy this ID. Insert that ID into here. There you go. Next thing we want to do here, looking down here, right, we want our files. Okay. So we want to be able to know where, basically where we're getting these files and stuff. So I'll do files, and then I'm going to put dist. I have in my documentation that I put index, but we're going to put dist, okay, because it's a folder that we're going to be looking at and not a JavaScript file. All right. Going down, we're going to want to have our GitLab CI setup. GitLab-ci.yml. Put this guy in here. Shouldn't be anything that you need to change in here. Just a copy and paste. Let me check. I'm going to say that and then I'll regret it. But yeah, no, this should be good. Just copy and paste that, or type it out. Pause. Do whatever you need to do. And then the next thing we're going to want to do is something in the registry on GitLab itself. Okay. So, all right, I found it. So the access tokens are a little trickier to find if you're not working on your own instance. So if you have your personal, just at gitlab.com, it's in the edit profile and then access tokens and right here. So we're going to click this one. We'll just call it GitLab token, and I won't worry about expiration date. I'm going to delete this. So let's copy this. You will want to copy this because you are not going to be able to get this back. You'll have to create a new one. All right, and now we're going to set this in here just so we can have it for later. Expand, add a variable, call it GitLab token, paste it in there. We don't need to protect it. You may want to, it's depending on your situation, but I'm not going to. All right. Let's go back to here. All right, so now that we got that token, we grabbed it and we set it in our CI/CD variables. Just as a reference, we can remember what it is. All right, and then you are going to want to have a runner enabled. So we are going to go here, runners. I have enabled shared runners for this project. So shared runners are available if you are working on your own. You're not in an instance where you have your own runners. You can set up a runner. We're not going to go over that now, but it is possible. If you want to use a shared runner, you will have to input your credit card info. However, they don't charge you. It's just kind of an authentication to make sure you're a human. Now that we've got all that done, we're not going to publish it yet, okay? We are going to start setting up our React app. So we're going to want a file structure here. We're going to make a source, and you can really have whatever file structure you want. I like having this one, it's just nicer. We're going to call this component, because that's where we're going to store components, and then we're going to have an index.js there. Okay. And then we're going to need a couple other files. We're going to want a rollup config, no dot there. So we'll want it like that, and then we will want a Babel RC, and let's see what else we want here. This is a React app itself, right there. And this is going to be our test widget. Okay, so that looks like pretty much everything. Let's set up our React app for now. Okay. So inside here, we're going to npm create React app. And what do I call it in here, just so I don't have to worry about React app testing suite. Okay. React app testing suite. There's different ways to create a React app. I don't really care which way you do it. I use npx, but you can do other ways as well. And the name for React app testing suite, you can choose whatever name you want. Just note that you will need to adjust some copy and paste things that I do later on. Otherwise, it may not work out for you. It won't work out for you, I should say. And so, yeah, just keep that in mind for the future. All right, let's start setting up our roll-up while that's going. First, we have this guy, and so let's insert the stuff we want inside of here. Oh, I guess I don't have that formatter configured for that. So this is what we're going to want inside our Babel RC. Right, that's all we're going to do there. So we can X that out. And then we're going to want this guy here. These are a bunch of different plugins that we can use for various things. Images, you'll need that if you want to have images involved. I assume most people want that, so I'm just including this in here. That way you don't go down the road and try to do an image and can't figure out why. So usually if things aren't working, check the plugins. See if there's a plugin that's required for that. Yeah. And let's just save this guy. And then we are going to copy and paste this stuff here. And, oh, right here as well. I understand you guys can't copy and paste. That's okay. You will just need to type it out. So we're pasting all of this inside our package JSON. Okay. These are our scripts that we're going to use for this project. And you can use all of these scripts here for various things. This will build, and this will the dev. That will start your environment. And install all installs everything on your playground as well as the root yarn. All right. Here's one thing to note here. React and React DOM, okay? Do not put these in your dependencies when you have dependencies. Do not do that. You will get a hook error eventually. It may not be right away, but when you're trying to install and use certain libraries, in particular I noticed that they were all TypeScript libraries, you will get React error because of conflicting React versions, React DOM. So you have to have this here and only here. Don't have it in your dependencies, okay? All right. Let's save that, and let's do a yarn install. Also, we will want our gitignore. That's, yeah. Gitignore these node modules, trust me. I made the mistake when early on, developer, of not gitignoring them, and I was wondering why it was taking so long to push my project. Yeah, always do that. All right, let's see what's going on here. No such, oh yeah. Well, I made the mistake of naming this incorrectly. Test suite, not testing suite. Okay. Let's try that again. Perfect. All right, so you'll want to change that. Test suite. Okay. All right. Now that we got everything there, just so you got a good look at what we put here. Pause the video, copy all these down. I will also give a link to these tutorials or the information that you need to do a copy and paste. Okay, perfect. We are now going to want to yarn add styled components. This will be for our widget, as well as we want to make sure the styled components in our package JSON is in our pure dependencies as well. Copy and paste that in. It's already here because I already did this, and just coming back and correcting the mistake. Let's create our first little widget here. Okay. So I named him Blobby, and we are going to put that down so you don't get confused. Go to your source, go inside components, create a new thing, component Blobby, and then copy and paste this in there, or whatever React component you want to do. But I'm going with Blobby. I think you should too, because Blobby's pretty cool. We're going to do an import Blobby and export Blobby. Save that. Let's look at our rollup. Okay, this basically rolls up all of our JavaScript, all that stuff, bundles it nicely into a dist folder, and bundles it in our playground as well, so we can use it and test it. That's very important. You wouldn't want to just create a bunch of components and not be able to test them. For Blobby, maybe we could get off by just making Blobby and exporting it, creating a library for Blobby, just Blobby, and we'd be fine because Blobby's not that complex of a component. But when you get more complex, you will want the testing ground. So basically, we have our input here, and goes rolls up, file, React Test Suite. Make sure our naming is all right. Naming good there. Perfect. Okay. Let's try this. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. And so you'll see I'm going to do yarn run dev, which we can see here as our scripts. We have dev, npm run all, parallel, build watch, and start test suite. All right. And it appears to be working. Perfect. Let's go into our test suite here. Okay. It's just like any old React app. If you're not familiar with them, you probably should get familiar with them. Go to your app.js. We are going to get rid of all of this stuff. Maybe keep that div. And so now we can see our page is blank, localhost 3000, and let's import Blobby from exported index. All right. Let's see if I did everything right here. See if Blobby shows up. Ah, there's Blobby. Blobby, good old Blobby, right up there, chilling out. All right, perfect. So there you have it. That's the playground environment. Okay. All right. So we want to put Blobby up on the internet. We want other people to access Blobby and use that library because he is pretty dang amazing. Do our git status. Just check out all the files that we added here. Nice. Okay. Do add. Git commit. Blobby is awesome. And let's do a git push. Perfect. All right. Let's check out what's going on with GitLab. Sorry, my bad. Huh. don't seem to be having a pipeline going. I have to do a little debugging here to figure out why I'm not getting the pipeline running. Oh, this is called main. I think that's why. Okay. Let's try this out and let's see if this works. Yes, that works. Okay. Note to self. In the GitLab CI file here, if you're not familiar with GitLab CI files, it's okay. They're a little confusing at first, a little daunting. So right here I had master. This will only run on master branch, and since my branch was called main, it would not run. And so I had to change this to main. You don't need this, you can just get rid of that. The reason why I have that there is if you're working on multiple branches, every time that you push to your branch, it will create a package under the package.json, the version, under version 1. And then when you try to merge that into master or main, it'll try to publish that again and you'll get a failed pipeline. So that's why I have it as only as master. And that is one thing to note. Your pipeline will fail if you try to push again without updating this versioning number, which can be kind of frustrating. I know there is a semantic release option, or I don't like it. You can use tags, and I believe that is discussed in the GitLab registry documentation on their website. So let's see how our pipeline is going, and it looks like it passed. So sweet. Let's look at our pipeline. Cool, cool. I would like to note that there are a few things that may occur. You may get failures, okay? And oftentimes failures for your pipeline passing will come from not having this here correctly. And not having these set up correctly, that will cause issues. That's the main issue to this, okay? Of why it may not work. Yeah, I just want to note that because sometimes it can be confusing what this is. You get it wrong and it doesn't work. I just wanted to point out as well, not having your token, your access token set up correctly may also cause your pipeline to fail for publishing. Sweet. Well, let's figure out how to get this. All right, I'm going to start a new project. We're just going to CT out of here, clear all this. We're going to create another React app. So create React app. And you don't really have to create a React app. I'm going to do it just so we can demonstrate showing the widget. And so sample project get. And it's going to take a little bit of time here. And you know what? We are going to actually, create a new project. Sample project get. Because sorry, I'll finish my thought here. Because we want to be able to demonstrate the GitLab CD, CI, this variables, okay? And I'll explain that in a bit. So let's CD into sample. Oh goodness, I gotta remember things here. CD sample project get. Okay, perfect. Make sure we're in the right thing. Looks amazing, and good to go. All right, and let's make this. Right. We're just going to push this real quick. Basically, I just made this, I just connected this project here to my GitLab. So, yeah. Alrighty, we can close this one out for now. We're done with that one. And we have our new project. We want to go back to here, and now we're going to how to create a GitLab. How to using, of course, using. All right. I'm just grabbing these. I have a pretty good memory of what to do here, but it's easier just to copy and paste. So we're going to want to have a npmrc, and there is yarnrc.yml now, which you possibly could use as well. I'm familiar with npmrc right now. I am researching into the yarn RC YAML for reasons that I will explain in a bit. But yeah, this is how we're going to do it for now. What I'm doing right now is I am creating things that we need to basically get this project published on a pipeline, okay? So in order to be able to publish this project, if we want it to run in a pipeline, we will need to have a token here, okay? And so the token that we had earlier we're going to go to our project here and go to where we saved this variable, reveal the variables, copy that, go back to the project that we just made, go to CI/CD, set variables, GitLab token, sample, blobby, and set that there. Okay. Now, whatever the name is for that, we will want to change it to blobby. I'm going to cheat here. Just there we go. Blobby. And that's scope. That's project example ID. I can hard code those things. Those are okay to hard code in my opinion. So I'm going to go here, hard code these things, grab the project ID, slap it in here. But if you don't want to hard code them, you can variabilize it all. That's okay. It's your prerogative to do it. And yeah. But this here, this we do want to variabilize. So let's go back to here. I should have done this before when I still had it. But I will grab it again. Going back to our project, change that. And we're not going to be using those. We can just comment them out. And underscore blobby. Make sure those are all the same. Okay. Note here, you must source this bash file every time you start a new terminal. That can be kind of annoying, I know, but it won't work if you don't do it like that. Okay, let me just show you. So if I try to yarn anything, yarn install, I'm going to get an error. See, look, doesn't know what that is. And so that's why I was mentioning earlier the yarnrc.yml. If you have one of those, it won't give you that error, I don't believe. And so I'm still looking into using variables in that and just completely forgetting npmrc. But for right now, this is what works. This is what I know works, and you can go with it. And I implore you to research and look into the yarnrc.yml as well. You might find something really good there. So, but for now, let's do source bash rc, and now we should be able to do a yarn install. There we go. Sweet. All right. Okay, let's get our blobby file in here. Okay, so let's do a yarn start just to see that we're working all right here. It's gonna refresh and do a new React app. Perfect. Now let's go to our you can go over here, package registry, and you can see we have a package registry right here. You click on this guy here, and it will tell you, okay, you need this, and you need to do npm I. We have yarn though, so we're going to use yarn instead. Do a yarn add, just copy that, or if you memorize this, you can just do a yarn add and whatever that is. You don't have to come here. And you will need this as well, but the thing is that this is in our npmrc, and so that'll work just fine. Here you can see it's similar to the one there, and they don't tell you this, but you do need this as well, which is kind of funky to me, but yeah, it shouldn't work. I've got it to work sometimes, but it's a weird, like, there's some artifact or like caching thing, something's going on where the pipeline like remembers the token or something. It's funky. I don't know. I think a bug. Look, it's probably gonna work, huh? Maybe not. We'll see. Yeah, doesn't work. Let me make sure that I have my all things CS. Oh, all right, guys. All right, so I was having this error where this was coming up. I tried an interesting thing where you can set a timeout, network timeout, but my Wi-Fi is not having issues, and this is what it was. I had this example thing in here. So let's delete that, and it should work now. Perfect. Okay. The little things. Now we can see that our all things CS thing is here. Perfect, perfect. Loving it. And let's go to our app. Let's do a import. And we got to import it like this. Lobby. Doesn't know. Import from. And what do we call it? At all things CS here. And let's put blobby right down here. And there we go. Never mind. There we don't go. Programming is not programming if you don't have a few little errors here and there. And there we go. There's blobby, guys. We did it. So we got our blobby in our project here, and now we can use blobby.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching that video all the way through. I know it was long. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. And as always, like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.